If the 21st century has provided any lessons so far, it is the power of the unexpected. What has been starkly revealed is how systems in place to meet anticipated problems failed when the unanticipated happened.
As we know, we're emerging globally from an environment of incredible shocks over the last couple of years. First, of course, was the great pandemic of COVID-19, but also environmental disasters from related to heat, flooding, droughts, wildfires. At the same time, we've had continuing cybersecurity challenges and supply chain disruptions, and as well as other shocks to the system.
In many ways, traditional approaches of government seem obsolete and incapable of properly responding to these disruptive events.
Large bureaucracies are constructed with and work best in environments of stability, of predictability, and where standardized service delivery can be delivered. That's not the environment that we're in today.
Given this new reality, now more than ever, government leaders need practical, actionable insights on how best to manage and lead through uncertain and disruptive periods. And that's why the IBM Center has published Transforming the Business of Government: Insights on Resiliency, Innovation, and Performance. The book identifies capacities governments need to anticipate, prepare for, and respond to crises, and build resiliency across these domains and beyond. During the last 3 years, a perfect storm of natural and geopolitical events has disrupted worldwide supply chains in ways that few governments could have anticipated.
Really, global supply chains have experienced major constraints over the past several years. Many are still recovering and responding to these threats. For instance, in 2022, almost 40% of global CEOs reported supply chain disruption as a major challenge. And this is a significant increase from the previous year. Supply chains are being affected across their entire ecosystems, with global chief supply chain officers reporting significant disruptions related to demand volatility, transportation, logistics availability, supply-based inventory availability, technology adequacy, and availability of skilled labor. And we coined the term supply chain immunity to refer to a condition in which an organization is prepared for different types of disruptions by having an action plan in place. And that includes developing supply chain immunity involves adoption of digital technologies to improve visibility and transparency, supply chain diversification to plan ahead and create more options for mitigation, as well as increased collaboration and partnership with suppliers to align planning across multiple tiers. We're also seeing some organizations experimenting with quantum computing tools and methods and predictive analysis for better decision-making.
Government digital platforms and the sensitive information they store represent a target-rich environment. Why?
Infrastructure. And it's not true just of government, it's true of, I think, institutions of all kinds. But for years, we've had a pattern and a practice of layering one generation of technology on top of another, on top of another, on top of another. And I like to use the analogy of, just putting paint over something and putting a fresh coat of paint on, and then another fresh coat of paint, and so on. And at some point, the buildup of those layers of paint starts to cause problems. It's not necessarily that the old technology is fragile, but it's the layering of these and the interfaces between them and so on that become the points of vulnerability. Cyber attacks is just one of the fundamental core competencies that organizations have to have if they're providing services to citizens or essential services in any capacity. And that resiliency can be thought of in a bunch of different ways. One is recovery from an incident. And these incidents can be anything from an actual cyber attack to the bringing directly on the institution, to the disabling of core capabilities. And in many cases, these are outsized services or outsourced services or cloud services or whatever they may be. If any of those are disabled and become unavailable, it can bring a halt to essential services as well.
The cascade of catastrophic events and the constancy of uncertainty raises fundamental questions about how governments can anticipate, prepare for, and respond to these and other shocks yet to come. So what practical steps can governments take in the near term to build resiliency?
As we all know, that the solutions to all of our cross-cutting problems are going to be networks. No individual agency or program is going to be the solution to a complex set of arrangements. As one practitioner put it to us, is that you're not going to have complex problems solved by individual agency silos. And so what we found is that networks don't form spontaneously, however. Rather, they are intentionally developed, and that is they choose a governance, the participants select a governance mechanism, and then they're carefully managed. We all have experience in strategic planning in individual agencies, but increasingly these types of future shocks are required either whole of government or in many cases even whole of society types of responses in order to deal with them. And so we wanted to catalog and take a look at what does strategic planning look like when it goes outside the boundaries of individual organizations and indeed encompasses different sectors, levels of and levels of government. The fast-tracking innovation and transformation across the network. And here I just want to give a special attention to just the vitally important effort of the IBM Center and the National Academy of Public Administration for the Agile Government Center that they've produced. That was deeply influenced to our thinking in how do we bring agile government using technology, using generative AI into actually spurring real fundamental changes in the construction and the service delivery of organizations.
To commemorate the IBM Center's 25th anniversary and identify innovative ideas that help government move forward in the face of inevitable uncertainty, we conducted a challenge grant competition. This competition solicited essays from academics and thought leaders describing a future of government that can help inform agency readiness, identifying strategic actions for innovation and performance to drive agency missions forward. The last half of Transforming the Business of Government, Insights on Resiliency, Innovation, and Performance explores such topics as AI, quantum computing, data and evidence, oversight, shared services, and customer experience. With this disclaimer that no one knows for certain what may come next, the insights and actions detailed in this book provide a pathway forward in transforming the business of government.